Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can all hear me well. If not, please give me a sign and then we'll make sure that it works. For those who are following already this morning, welcome back. And as planned, we are talking now, or we'll start talking about the CEN IT tools. A few of my colleagues are connected online because they could not make it to the office, but that's okay. I should be able to see the screen now. And for the first session of the CEN IT tools, we'll be talking about the SD documents. If I'm not mistaken, it's Christina, my colleague project manager at the Energy and Living team, who will start with this part. So Christina, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Els. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you had a nice lunch. So let's get stuck in and look at SD documents. Let me see if I can. Yes, next slide. So some facts and figures about SD documents. Since we started the migration in May 2021, we have migrated a bit over 2,000 technical committees, both active and dormant ones. And that includes 845,000 documents. On the governance committee side, so non-technical bodies, we have migrated 61 committees and about 55,000 documents. And then we have some remaining committees that we are still in the process of finalizing the migration of these disbanded committees. Some of them are hosted at DEAN and AFNOR. What are the main benefits of SD documents? So it is a common environment for all of CEN, ISO, and also national committees. It has a clear and transparent permission model, so it's based on the roles and access controls in the global directory. So the CEN and ISO database. And it has a controlled numbering system for most committees, the so-called N number, a bit more on that later. It has a greatly enhanced document search tool, which is very useful. And then also good to know that SD documents is ever evolving, so ISO is constantly working on new features as well. So how to access SD documents? You can use the hyperlink to the CEN portal, which is login.cen.eu/portal. You can see that that portal takes you to other areas as well, such as meetings and ballots. But here we're looking at documents. So you can see in the yellow frame on the screen, documents. That's where you should click to get to SD documents. And then you will arrive at the on the dashboard, rather, of SD documents. And there you will have a list of, it says here, my committees at the top. So those are all the committees in which you have a role, whether it's as contributor or as manager. Yeah, in your case, presumably it will be managing the committee. And then you can also highlight any of the committees that you would like to see at the top of your list, highlight them in yellow, as you can see on the screen here. Now, if I just go back, so if you click on any of those committees, this is what you will see. So here we're looking at CEN TC 601 test, which is of course a made-up committee. But what you'll see at the top is what we call the library. So there you have folders such as administration, general, meetings, decisions. And this allows you to browse your documents in a sort of standard folder structure. This is harmonized across all committees, but it's also flexible. And just beneath that, you have the committee documents, which allows you to see the documents in a flat view. So this is regardless of which folder they're actually saved in. Here you will see them in chronological order. And so you can see the latest documents no matter sort of where they're saved, as I said. And then on the right at the top, we've got ballot documents. Again, you can see all the latest ballots and related documents. And when you click on them, you will be directly taken to the ballot section of the portal without having to kind of log in again. And the same goes for the meeting documents, which sits below. So there again, you just have an overview of your latest meeting documents. sort of all interconnected. So this table here, the library structure, it provides an overview of, so we have on the left the different folders of the library that we just mentioned, so general, meetings, decisions, projects, and so on. And then we have a brief description of kind of how to use it, who can use it. And on the right, in the third column, you see the document type that you can use for each of these. So don't be surprised if, for example, if we look at ballots, the ballot folder, you can't upload a meeting document there. You know, it won't work. So that's kind of what this table summarizes here. Then a few words about permissions. So above the library, you'll see for your committee, there's two folders, in fact. One is called members list and the other one's called access list. The members list shows you the list of people that are directly involved in the committee or working group work. And there you can email, for example, all the members. And then the access list shows you all the people that have access to the documents. And this can be much more people than that are just in the committee, if that makes sense. But this is a list that's only visible to the secretary, the convener, and the secretary support staff. And this information can be exported to CSV. Okay, so now a kind of summary slide on the document lifecycle. So let's imagine you want to upload a document onto your committee page. This you will have to notify. So at this stage, you can still edit the metadata, you can add a version, you can delete the document before you notify it, and you can also restart the rendition, which means you could change it from Word to PDF or from PDF to HTML or whatever the case may be. And then once you have notified it, you should kind of think of notification as publication. But in fact, the members of your committee will be notified via a sort of automated email that something has been uploaded. And then the document will become available. So at this stage, you can still edit the metadata, although only the references. And the original document, the editable version, let's say, is only available to the officer. So only to the technical body officer, which is you. And then from there on, you can withdraw the document if you sort of want to, you don't want it to be relevant anymore. And then, from withdrawn, you can still move it back to available, but you won't be able to delete a document that was already available. So you can withdraw, but not delete. In the red box here, we have the stages of the document where it's only visible to the officer. So before you notify a document, it's only visible to you, and you can still delete it. And then here, once it's available, it will be visible to all. And then finally, when it's withdrawn, the document won't be visible to anyone. So you might be able to see that there was a document, but you won't be able to open it. So in that sense, invisible. And so coming back to the numbering system, it's important to know that the N numbers are assigned automatically to any document that you upload. In case you delete a document that you have not notified yet, then that number will be automatically reassigned to the next document that you do upload. And the N numbers are quite useful to refer to documents, but it also just helps keep track of the chronological order of documents. And at this point, I will hand over to my colleague Tamara Lee for the live demo.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Christina. So I will share my screen. So first you need to go, to access the CEN Documents application, you need to go to the CEN portal, which is here. Then you click on Documents. and this will take you to the landing page, to the dashboard, sorry. And here you will see the list of committees in which you have a role. So we have different committees here. If I use, for example, a committee more on a regular basis, I can highlight it so that it appears at the top of the screen, and then I can also just click again and it gets back to normal. What else? Here I'm going to click on one of the committees. I'd like to show you what it looks like, the committee homepage. So here we are. So you see I have my set of fixed folders at the top. Then below that I have my committee documents, and here I can see the last 15 documents that were uploaded, and it's irrelevant which folder they belong to. It'll be the last 15 documents. If you want to see all the documents, then you click here on See All Documents, and that'll show you, then you have the whole list of all the documents we have. But for now, let's go back to the main page. Here on the right, I have my ballot documents. So I have all the documents which are related to ballots, and the same below, I have all the documents which are related to meetings. And if I click on the little icon beside ballot documents or beside meeting documents, it'll take me directly to the meetings application or to the ballots application. Okay, then as Christina mentioned earlier, we have two tabs here. We have the members list. So if I click on it, I will see the list of all the people who have an active role in the committee. And then in the access list, I will have the list of all the people who have access to the committee, and this could, but who don't necessarily have an active role. So this could be, for example, in this case, I have we're a TC, so the convener from the working group would have access to this committee, for example. Now I'm going to show you how to create a document. So to create a document, I first need to enter one of the folders in the library before I can upload the document. So let's say I go into the meetings folder. Then I have my little icon with plus document. It won't appear if I don't enter a folder. So I click on it, and the system suggests either I can create a folder, I can add a link, or I can create a meeting document. So I'll click here. I will upload my document. Here I can choose different types of rendition. So the most common one is the PDF rendition with a cover sheet, which is the one I'm going to choose for this example. You could have no cover sheet and keep the original format. You could have PDF without a cover sheet. You could have a PDF with it's just a stamp with the N number at the top of the page, or you could have a cover sheet only if you want to, for example, write a little announcement or notification on the cover sheet. Then you need to fill in the metadata, so you can write a little description. Here we're in a meeting type of document, so you'll need to add the subtype. So you have a list, so you can scroll and see what options you have. So let's say we take a document for information. We need to link it to a meeting. So let's say this one. If it replaces a formal document, then you would put it here. If it's related to another document, you can add the link here, and then you create your document. So what I forgot to mention is that where you have a red little star, these are mandatory fields, whereas the rest is not. So I create my document, and I will have a preview of the document. So here I have my cover page. So we have the name of the TC, the N document, the number of the document. Here, if you click, it'll take you to the meetings application, and below the cover sheet, you have the document. On the right-hand side, you have the metadata you entered for the document. And if we look at the status, we see that this document is in a to be notified status, which means that it's only visible to me as a secretary. So I now need to inform the members that the document is here. So what I do is I need to put it in available status. So I go up here on the little envelope at the top. I click. I have a text which is written by default, but which you can change as you wish. The document is attached at the bottom, and you can send it, and the members of the committee will receive a notification to inform them that the document has been uploaded. I will just show you a preview of what the email looks like. So there we go. And then they can click on the document, and it'll take them directly to send documents. Okay. Now, if I want to search for a document, I have a little icon here on the left, which is called Committee Documents. This is to help me find a document. So if I click here, I have different filters. So I could, for example, put in some, if I remember only words. If I remember the title, I'd put in the title. Let's say I'm looking for some results of voting on a new work item. So what I would do is look at the different status. So I'll take available. Then I'm looking for a decision document, and the pages are dynamic, so it shows me directly. And then I see my N49, I have results of voting on new work item. Now, what you can do is also look for a document within all the committees where you have a role, and for that, you would need to go on the advanced search. And this will enable you to look for documents within all the committees like CEN or ISO, where you have a role. So unfortunately for this example, I only have access to CEN committees. So let's say I'm looking for a, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a decision called Oslo Resolution. So I'll click on a few committees. I forgot to mention I'm in the test environment, so it can be a little bit slow. There we go. Let's say I remember that it's between number 60 and 80. And I'm looking for a decision. And here I have my resolution. Okay, so that's it for me and CEN documents.
Okay, thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Christina, as well. I've noticed some questions came in about the SD documents application, but while Tamara was going through the demo, I noticed Christina replied them all. So that's so far so good, I guess. If people still have questions, of course, feel free to throw them in the Q&A panel. Next onto our planning is the committee internal balloting. And if I'm not mistaken, we have Carolina Müller, our colleague, connected online to go over this part. Carolina, are you here with us? Can I please ask you to share the presentation? Exactly, here we are. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Els. One moment, please. I have to rearrange my screens. Okay, well, thank you very much. Yeah, now I'm going to introduce you to the CEN committee internal ballot, and that is the landing page, the first page, which has Christina already shown you before, but now we are focusing on the second part. That is the tool which gives the TC secretaries the possibility to collect votes by correspondence to support the TC to taking the decisions, e.g. On the activation of a work item or other committee internal decisions which need to be taken. You, as the committee manager, have access to this link, and if you do not have that already, it will be it is an active link in the presentation, so it will be shared with you afterwards. And when reaching that page, please do not click on the one on the right, but on the ballot on draft standards, the one. But before showing you the landing page, which happens when you click on it, I want to shortly summarize the existing different roles and permissions of the committee internal balloting tool. In general, the roles are defined by the profile in the CEN Global Directory. So you, as the committee manager, have a different role than the users, the members of the committee. You are the one creating the ballot as the ballot owner. So you are responsible to initiate and run the balloting process. You create the ballots in the respective committees and have full access to the committee internal balloting environment. But you also have the permission to register a vote or a comment in the balloting application on behalf of one of the committee members, voter or a commenter. Having said that, it's obvious that there are different other authorizations of the users. So votes can be cast by the members of a committee delegated from a national standardization body, whereas other committee members, which is, for example, representatives of liaison organizations, only have the right to submit comments. So now, as promised, I will guide you through the landing page, where you see now on the screen. When entering it, you can see all open ballots where you have a role in. So the ones here, the committees, the type of ballot, the committees, the reference, and the other metadata is reflected here. Then it is also possible to search. If there are too many of those, you can search for new last 2 weeks, closing in 2 weeks, closed last 2 weeks, or a search with a little more criteria. If you want to see the details of a respective ballot, you can click on the reference, which will lead you to the ballot details screen. So indicated here by clicking on the reference, you will see further details. But first, which is also on the landing page, is the button to create a new ballot, which will be shown by my colleague Tamara later in a live demo. So by clicking on the button of the new ballot, you have several options, and then you have to choose which type of ballot you want to create. And for clarification, I've also added here the main stages of the committee and balloting, internal balloting workflow, which is the creation. You and the committee members will receive a notification. Others have then the access and the consultation is the part where it's running. People can vote. A reminder will be sent out to everyone. And then after closure, the results can be downloaded, and it is on you to do the follow-up. Now, after clicking on the reference, here you see an example of what a ballot looks like. There are 2 boxes. The first one up on top gives you all the metadata. So the committee, the status, open, closed, opening date and closing date, and the type of ballot. Whereas the second box, the one below, is the one to upload the reference documents. And also here on the top top right corner, you see cast vote as and submit comment as. This is those two buttons is only for you as the committee manager to see, because as I said before, you can cast vote on behalf of someone, or you could submit the comments on behalf of someone else. But the members of the committee will only see one of the buttons, the one corresponding to their respective role in the global directory. Then now we are at the end of the committee internal balloting workflow, and the ballot is closed. Then the results will appear and can be downloaded in a zip file. There are 4 steps: the information, result, participation, and audience. And the results can be found under results. And by clicking, you will be able to download the zip file with all the documents in it. And that was a very brief introduction how the tool looks like. And now I hand over to my colleague Tamara for the live demonstration.
Yes. So wait. So to access the committee internal balloting, you need to go back to your CEN portal and click on the ballots on draft standards here. Then you have a list of ballots, and you need to scroll down, and at almost the end, you can see the ballot internal balloting. So I click on that. And this is my landing page. So when I land on this page, I'll see all the open ballots. But of course, I can then choose if I wish to see the new ballots in the last 2 weeks, the ones closing in 2 weeks, the ones which are pending. And then you can also search if you have like some criteria. You can fill in different things, such as the type, the status, for which committee. And then when you want to search, you need to click on the search button here and not the one up here. So let's go back to the all open. Also at the top here, we have tools. So if you click on that, you can log out, you can manage your roles, and you can see all the open ballots. If you click on the help, it'll take you to the user guide. Now I'm going to show you what a ballot looks like. So let's click on one of them, on this one. So as Carolina said before, we have different sections. We have the top section where we have all the metadata, so the status, opening date, closing date. We have the reference document, which you have uploaded, which you would have uploaded. And then you, as a secretary, you would be able to see the votes and comments from the different members while the ballot is open. The members can only see the results once the ballot is closed. And then we have, so this is the information tab, and beside it we have the participation. This is where you can see all the members and liaisons at the bottom. And then the audience, and this is where you will see the names of the people who can vote. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to create a ballot. So to create a ballot, I go here on the right on new ballot, and let's say I'll create an adoption of a new work item. So first I need to select my committee. So I'll choose the same. Here I need to enter the reference, so I'll just put you can add you can add the title. You need to choose the method. So here for CIBs you need to choose weighted majority, we have two options. We have weighted majority and simple majority. We used the weighted majority for European norms and technical specifications, whereas we use the simple majority for technical reports. Then I need to define a date. So it's by default +1 day, plus 1 day, and then it's +3 months. So you need to, let's say we put it in December, like 13th, and it'll automatically calculate the 3 months. Then you click on next. And here for this type of ballot, the questions are already set. So, and you have the possible answers. So that's quite an easy one. Then you simply create. So here you'll need to upload your reference document. So I'll click here on the little arrow. I'll add the new reference document. I'll choose it from my file. I'll upload. And when I click on finish, the ballot will be created. And this is what it looks like. So you have all the metadata, you have your reference document, and you have your questions and answers. Now, I just also would like to show you how to create an ad hoc ballot. This is where you can create your own questions. So again, I go to the right to new ballot, and I choose, what do I choose? An ad hoc ballot internal. There we go. I choose my committee. I fill in the metadata. I leave it as it is. I go to next. And here is where you can create your questions. So here, for example, you would write then you can choose the possible answers. So for this example, I'll use the standard yes, no, and abstention. Here you have several options. So either no comment required, comment optional, or comment required. So let's say for yes, I will use comment optional, then add an answer. I click no, let's say comment required using the CEN template, and then abstention and optional. Okay, and then here you could add a second question. If you wish to delete a question, you click on the little arrow, you click on delete, and you can also then, if you have a series of questions, you can also reorganize them by moving them up or down. So for now, I'll just click like this, and then I create my document. I upload the reference document. And when I click on finish, my ballot is created. Now, I just want to go over the results with you before I finish. I'm going to look at a ballot that is closed. So I'll look at closed last 2 weeks. And I have a ballot here. And now I see the votes and the comments here below. And then beside my information tab, I have a results tab. And I have all the results. So I have different sections. I have the member responses, the questions, and the votes by each member. And all this information is can be found in the zip file here. that's okay. That's I think that's it for the CIB.
Okay, thank you, Tamara, and Carolina as well. There's one remaining question for the CIB, so I would like to suggest that we tackle this already now. Someone is asking us if that, in case of a CIB adoption of a new work item, do they have to choose if it is a weighted or by simple majority, or does the system give automatically the correct way to make the consultation?
You have to choose. You have to choose the right. You have to choose between weighted or simple majority.
Okay, I think that answers it. So it's not an automatically selection made by the system. You have to choose yourself. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you. That was it. I suggest that we continue then with the next chapter of this CEN IT Tools training. If all is well, there is our colleague Claire connected online. Welcome, Claire. And she will go together with Tamara again, go over the meeting registration system that we have in place for you. Please, Claire, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Can you share the presentation? It's not yet on screen.
No, yeah.
Yes, perfect.
You should now see it. So thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. So I will present today the CEN meeting registration system. I will go to the next slide. First, you can access the CEN meeting software through the CEN electronic applications homepage at the address on the website, on the slide, sorry. We would like to clarify that there is no link with the reservation system for meeting rooms at the CEN Senelec management centers. So to book a meeting room, you need to follow the procedure explained on the CEN Senelec website. So these are two different things. So what is it about? So the CEN meeting registration system is a platform similar to ISO meetings application. The aim of CEN meeting is to enable technical committees and working groups officers to create and manage their meetings in a central place, as well to enable registration of participants to the meetings by their respective NSB liaison or by the participant themselves. As you can see on screen, you can also extract reports, attendees list, working document, and the type of permissions will depend on the role you have assigned in the CEN Global Directory. So in this meeting registration system, there are four main roles. The first I will describe is the meeting organizer. So as a technical body secretary or working group convener, so you can create, manage meetings, social events, provide information for the meetings, and also manage participant attendance. On the top right, you have a second role, which is a meeting participant approver, MPA. So this is an individual representing a CEN member or an international organization who can register or approve or disapprove a registration. You have also at the bottom right, a meeting coordinator. So this is an individual working for a national standardization body hosting the meeting. So if it's face-to-face, who is gathering requests for invitation letters for visa, for instance. And the last role on the top right is the participants who can register for a meeting themselves. Important information about this meeting registration system is meeting timelines. So there are different stages for registering a meeting and creating, proposing, and registering for a meeting. So the first is a proposal of a meeting. Then the meeting is confirmed when you have the exact date and location. There is also a timeline of 24 weeks, 6 months before the meeting, open for registration. So it means that the meeting cannot be open before this 6-month time. So if a meeting is confirmed 24 weeks or 6 months or less before the meeting start date, registration opens automatically when the meeting is set to confirm. And so 2 weeks before the start of the meeting, this is a deadline for registration. After this registration deadline, participants can no longer self-register to a meeting. They must be registered by their respective MPA, so meeting participant approver, meaning a CEN member or international organization. And last point, registration always closes at the meeting close date in order to allow also last-minute registration to the meeting. So in brief, these were the main information regarding the CEN meeting registration system. I will now leave the floor to Tamara to make a demo on this application.
Thank you, Claire.
I will stop sharing.
Okay, so we're back to the CEN portal. This time I'm going to click on the meeting icon. So, oh, there we go. And so by default, I land on my meetings page where I can see my ongoing and upcoming meetings. So I'm on the little brief case here. We have different filters at the top, such as status, and you can select from the different options, like if you're looking for proposed meetings, confirmed, ongoing, etc., etc. Then the registration, if you are already registered, if you haven't been registered yet, the working area, such as ISO or CEN. Then if we look at this page, so you can also use, you can change here map to see the different locations or use the grid. What information do we have here? Well, if I look at my committee, so here we have a little icon telling us that it's a hybrid meeting. The number here means that it's the 18th meeting for this committee. The status, it's open. There is one session scheduled and one event. And we have the date and the location. And then at the far end, we have a little warning sign, which indicates that the task needs to be completed and or is late, which you'll probably see quite often. So here I go into my committee. I just want to show you what it looks like. First, so we have at the top the meeting timeline. I can see now that I'm in the registration is open since the 30th of October. And we have the registration deadline at the end of this month. However, if I wish to change the registration deadline, all I do is click here and I enter a new date. Below this, so this is the sessions. This was actually recently introduced last summer, to be precise. And now it means that meetings have sessions which have their own start and end times. And this provides you with more flexibility in meeting formats. So this also means that participants have a flexibility to register to a specific session and doesn't need to attend the whole meeting. And attendance is managed at both the meeting and the session levels. So a participant needs to register to the meeting and then needs to register again to the session he or she wishes to attend. Then we have the information about the meeting, when it will take place, the type of meeting. Here it's hybrid. I see that we have 3 participants. And there are 2 tasks which need to be done. So we have the same. If you want to change some information on the meeting, you go up here. So the location, this is where you could change it. You can also add a Zoom URL. You can change the time. And here is where you can add the sessions or add social events. So we see we have one session on the first day, and we have a dinner organized at the end of the second day. So now I'm going to show you how to create a meeting. So to create a meeting, it's a bit like on CEN Documents. You click on the plus meeting. You select your committee. I'll include the subcommittees and the working groups. I click on next at the bottom right. And now we have different options. If you're unsure of, if you don't have a precise date for the meeting, you can select year and then just write 2024, for example, to pre-book it. Or if you are not sure of the days, you can just use the month and the year. And if you know the exact date, then you click on days and you select, let's say, the 11th and the 12th of January. Then I click on next. I select whether I want this meeting to be face-to-face, hybrid, or virtual. So I'll do hybrid. I'll enter a location. Then I create the meeting. So now the meeting is in a proposed state, which means that we need to make sure everybody agrees on the date and the location. And once that is confirmed, you click on confirmed. And it's only when you've clicked on confirmed and that the meeting is in this state that you can add your sessions and you can add your events. So let's say I want to add a session. So I would go to sessions and events up here at the top of the page. I will add a session. I will add some information. You click on the day and you can choose the time, let's say from 10 to 11. There we go. You can add the Zoom URL if you wish to, and then you apply. And I have my first session. And then the same if you want to add a social event. You put the date and the time. And apply. What you need to know is, so the registration opens 6 months before the meeting. So that's 24 weeks before. And the registration deadline is 2 weeks before the meeting starts. And now one last thing. I want to show you how to manage your profile. So to manage your profile, you go here on My Profile. And this is where you will have if you go on Person, you will have the information which is taken from the global directory. So it can't be edited directly in the meetings application. If you needed to change an email or a name, you would need to contact your national user administrator. For those of you who, for those members who need a visa, they would need to fill in the passport information here. we have an additional information tab, which is where you could add your dietary information or any logistical information. And if you wish to invite a member of your family, you can create here a guest. So you need to confirm that you consent to the registration, and then add the person's name and email. The information that you see here will be seen by the meeting coordinator and the meeting participant approver. And if you create a guest, for example, and you can delete the information after the meeting.
I'm going to share the screen from my side now because Elisa is sitting next to me to continue with the rest of the presentation about the CEN Working Area. So Elisa, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Els, and good afternoon, everybody. So I will now present the CEN Working Area. That is the tool that you will use when you want to submit to CCMC the decisions taken by your technical committee. So the working area is a web application to submit, as I said, the technical committee decisions to our data service team at CCMC. And this tool is to be used by the CEN secretaries and their support team. So to access a working area, you shall first log in to Projects Online, like I showed this morning. So you can access Projects Online via this direct link or via the CEN portal or the CEN Expert area. And then if you have access to the working area application, you should see on the top right of the page a button Working Area, and you just need to click on it. Here are some benefits of using the Working Area applications. So first of all, it guides the CEN secretary because the business rules are enforced by the tool. You have also the possibility to prepare your decision before submitting it to CCMC. So you prepare the form, you fill in all the information, and you can generate the decision form automatically with all the information. A third benefit, you have also the assurance that this decision is being treated because you will receive an email notification the next morning. So either because the tool processed already automatically your decision, or if there are some manual steps to be taken, you have an email confirmation saying that your decision has been forwarded to our data service team. And you have also a quicker response because, as I said, we have several types of decisions that are processed automatically overnight. So what you need to do when you connect on the CEN Working Area, so first of all, you need to select CEN TC on the drop-down. So if you are the secretary of several TCs, you will have all your TCs displayed on this drop-down. You just need to select the relevant one. Then just underneath, you need to choose a decision group. So we have 5 types of groups on CEN Working Area. We have a set of decisions related to the creation of a work item, another set regarding the launching of a procedure, inquiry from a vote, or for the request of a tolerance. Another set of decisions regarding the modification of a work item, for example, if you need to modify the title, or the deletion in case your project shall be abandoned. A 4th category regarding the maintenance or the withdrawal of the CEN deliverable. So if, for example, you have a decision to confirm standard for 5 years, you can select this group, and other type of decisions, for example, extension of DOR, you can find them there. So let's, once you have selected a decision group, for example, creation of a work item, then just underneath, you need to select the type of decision that you want to submit. So for example, here we have adoption of a new work item, adoption of preliminary work item, and etc. If you want to know what kind of decision you can submit via working area, you have a list that is available on the top right of the screen if you click on the icon Help. So once you have decided the type of decision to submit, you can already fill it in the decision reference, the decision date, and document if relevant, and then you click on the button Start. So this will open a form with several questions, and you are invited to fill in all the information that is requested in the form. So you will see that at least for creation of new work item, that the question are the same that those that you can find in the new work item proposal form that is available on the Sandbox. You will also see that the tool will react if you do not provide compulsory information. So you will have an error message displayed on the screen. But the tool will also help you by providing some kind of information that we have already available in the database. For example, if I select that I want to create a new project for the revision of an existing standard, I will select the standard here in the drop-down, and you will see that the tool will already provide you with some information based on the standard that is being revised. So for example, it will provide already the title, the scope, you can modify, of course, and also important, if the standard was related to any standardization request or legislation, you will also, the tool will also propose that the new work item is linked to those piece of legislations. So of course, you can always modify that information if it's not relevant anymore. So at any moment, you can decide to save your decision without submitting it to CCMC. So you just need to click on the button Save. And then you will find the decision in the section Work on Save and Not Submitted Decision. I will come back to it later on. And also you can generate a Word or a PDF format of your decision. And once you have filled in all the information that is compulsory and you are ready to submit your decision to CCFC, you will find it's the very last section of the form. You are requested here to add the decision reference and the date if it was not done previously already. And you have to click on the button Submit to CCMC, and you will have a little pop-up saying that your decision has been successfully provided to CCMC. So on the homepage of the working area, so you first need always to select the TC, and then you have 4 sections. So you have the section to create a new decision, so as I just shown. Then you have the section where you can find all the decisions that you have saved but still not submitted to CCMC. There is a third section where you can find all the decisions that you have submitted to CCMC for that technical committee. And a last section for all the actions that do not require a decision. So under that last section, you can find the one change option. So in the flexible timeframe process, you have the possibility to modify the initial planning of one of your projects, as long as it has not been, as long as you have not submitted the draft for inquiry. So in that case, you need to select the modification type, change the planning of our work item, so what we call the one change option. Then you select the work item in the drop-down. You will see all the dates of the initial planning of your project appearing on the screen, and you can still modify the date for providing the inquiry draft to CCMC and the date for the formal vote. And you click on save so that those modifications will be imported automatically in our database. This is it for working area. So if you need any support, so we have a user guide available on the tool itself in the help section, but the user guide is also available on the CEN expert area. If you have any question regarding the data that you see on the screen, you can contact our data service team. And for any problem, technical issue, suggestion for improvement, you can contact our IT team at itsupport@censenelec.eu.